Imagine being able to communicate directly with police anytime, anywhere. That is the idea behind a new app that is being launched today by the Crestwood Police Department. It is called tip411, and as the poster says, this is information at the speed of light. Joining me to talk about it on the Pulse of St. Louis are Crestwood Police Chief Jonathan Williams and Crestwood Police Officer Dion Olson. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
The app is called tip411. Chief, tell us what tip411 is all about.
Well, tip411 is an app developed by a company named tip411 that is specific to our police department. It really serves kind of two primary functions. One is it's a 100% anonymous tip line. So a user can send us a tip, almost as much information as they want. It remains 100% anonymous. They can also download pictures and download video and send that, and they'll have a direct two-way conversation with one of our detectives. So picture it as basically Crime Stoppers for Crestwood and Crestwood specific. The detectives, they can have that two-way conversations until the detectives get enough information that they feel that hopefully they can resolve that situation for them. It also has another primary function that it's a alert system for the police department. And think of it as a notification on your cell phone, like a text message or an email. The police department will have the ability to send out alerts. So imagine there was a very big winter storm that came about and people couldn't get around on roads. We can send out notifications that say, hey, Watson Road is impassable right now. Please go ahead and change your routes of travel. So it gives us that ability to instantaneously connect with the community when we feel that there's important information to put out.
Well, certainly relevant this week with the snowstorm and all the ice you've been having. Officer Olson, can you kind of walk us through how you would use it to communicate with the public and how the public might communicate with you, for example, during a snowstorm?
Well, as you know, social media and law enforcement, they've been working together for quite some time now. But what we're doing with the tip411 app allows our customer base, our community, to join in with us in a two-way conversation. They also, as we give in the alerts, they can contact us back. It's really a dedicated social media for those who want to subscribe to our service. And it's free and it's immediate. And as you said, it's information at the speed of light.
And another interesting point that Chief brought up was that it is anonymous. And I wanted to differentiate between this and Crime Stoppers, because people might be thinking, oh, well, I thought Crime Stoppers was the anonymous tip line. This is a little different. I know it's not meant to replace it.
No, absolutely. We're not replacing Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers is a great service that's provided in the St. Louis area. But tip411 is going to work specifically for us. It's a two-way communication that we can pick up and get back to as we need to. Say, for instance, our detectives were speaking with someone about an incident that occurred. They were getting some tips. And as the information flowed and the investigation continued, they're able to reach back out to that person, get more information, ask those questions again, possibly, and it's still all anonymous.
And I was looking at that screen just now. If we can put that back up for our producer, it basically asks 2 or 3 questions. It says, well, first you can submit an anonymous tip, but then the next one just basically says, enter a tip description. Where did you see something? And give as many details as you can.
Absolutely. And we can ask the more pertinent questions later as we need to. And as we said, as it ties into social media as well, as of today, we have it live on desktop, PC, on our Facebook page. You can actually sign up for the tip411 app or even leave a tip directly from our Facebook page from a desktop.
And tell us, Officer, what is the name of the app that you would look for on your phone or your desktop?
Right. You can download the app from the Google Play Store or the App Store. It's called Crestwood Mo PD, Crestwood, Missouri PD. And you will see our logo, our insignia, and all you have to do is download the way you would any other app from the Google Play or App Store.
Now, how do you ensure that it is anonymous if you are providing a tip? Like, I think I saw something that was suspicious in my neighborhood. I don't want my name known. People might be thinking they need to give their name and phone number. After all, it is coming, let's say, from their phone.
Yeah, I can answer that. So any of your tips actually gets routed through the company. So we never see any names. I don't even know if the company knows exactly who the user is. So everything's run through the company tip411. So we just never get any of that information. We will just basically get whatever your description is, where possibly the address is, and your photographs and your videos.
How did your department learn about tip411?
So this was actually basically a cold call solicitation. We had a need for a notification system. So we used to have a dialer system, which is basically we would record a voicemail. That voicemail would go out to a preset phone numbers that have been logged at the police department, and it would leave that message. That's not the way people communicate in 2022. We've kind of had been looking for an app, but an individual app is very expensive when you have to develop for yourself, and it just wasn't feasible for us. So I got this cold call solicitation from tip411, and he said, "Would you like to hear about the product?" I said, "Well, yes, I would." And did the demonstration. It is actually exactly what we were looking for.
You know, I think about, we gave the example of weather since we're kind of dealing with this snowstorm and cleanup afterwards, but how might it make a difference in the community as far as engagement? I'm thinking about schools possibly needing it.
Yeah, so they actually encourage, and we encourage anybody, students, we have a direct line to a PR person that helps do us. We have media that we can put up in schools that is more school specific to target, that school age group. We really encourage anybody within the Crestwood community, not just our residents or our businesses, but anybody who might frequent the area, travel through the area, shop in the area. It's just going to be a better way for us to connect with the community, keep people informed, let them keep us informed. And it's really exactly what we've been looking for. We're really a community outreach based organization. And this is just one more tool that we have that we can just better connect with our community.
And the community is what, 11,000, 12,000?
We're 12,000.
Okay. Officer Olson, from your standpoint, you handle a lot of the social media and communications for the department. And the chief talked about this, about how technology changes over time. What do you think about this?
I think it's great. I think that's something that's going to merge well with everything that we're using now. We're going to be able to build off of that. And because we are such a community-oriented place, we're a department that thrives on our community. And our community comes first. Every day when we put this uniform on, we pledge to do our very best for Crestwood. And this app is going to be able to continue that spirit of doing the best for our community and having that interaction, the give and take that we really need to do an effective job being police officers.
Well, it is different when you think how much has changed over time. As Chief first said, we need something that's relevant to the time. Technology in 2022. Talk about how different it was from even 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's not just the technology difference, but I think it's the amount of information that people want right now and desire. Information now with everything that you can get, 24-hour news, these different apps you can get on your phone. People really want instantaneous information. Officer Olson and our crime analysts do an excellent job on what we call the weekly roundup every week on our Facebook page. It kind of gives a rundown of the week of the calls we went on. We've gotten such a great feedback on that. People want that information. People need that information. And it's important that we provide that information to them.
And exciting, it's launching today. So we will see what your first posts, I guess, will be, or alerts out to the public. And of course, they need to download the app as well, just to clarify, correct?
Yes.
All right.
There is another way you can submit tips, though. You can just do it if you do not have a smartphone. You can submit a tip through messaging at 847-411, and then you preface the message with the Crestwood tip, and then send that, and it will get to us just like the app would.
Well, I think the neatest thing about this is that you can have two-way communication with the public, and you can have it instantly. You're not waiting for someone to call you back, and someone responds immediately.
Most definitely. And I do want an important note. This does not take the place of 911 or a non-emergency line. If you do need a police officer at that moment, please do not use this as a replacement. This will be monitored by our detectives. It will not be monitored 24 hours a day as the tip line. So if you do have some type of emergency, please call 911 or call our non-emergency number, which conveniently you can get on the app. On one of the tabs, it has our non-emergency number, and you can directly call from the app.
Good to point out. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Chief Williams and Officer Olson with the Crestwood Police Department. Thanks for joining us.